Hello and welcome to another episode of the Game Potty. Today I sat down with Tarkyn, Loloselo. Really good story. I encourage you to share it around and like and follow us on the Facebook and Instagram pages. Let's just rip right into this one. Great story. Thanks for listening. Thanks so much for the support lately. Welcome, Tarkyn, Loloselo. Thank you. Tarks, great to have you here, mate.
How are we?
Good. How about you?
Oh, good, bro. How long has it been?
Let's say 3 years more.
3 years.
More, I reckon.
Yeah.
When did you come to Toowoomba?
Toowoomba 2018 for that the Queensland called like signing thingy.
Yeah.
And then 2019 after the World Cup. Straight into it.
Straight into it.
Oh, God.
We did. That's a long time ago, eh?
No, bro.
I've known Tarkyn. Yeah, we met at footy at the Western Mustangs.
Yes.
I remember you. Yeah, you were going to be the signing of the fullback of the year and all that other shit. But no, good times. It was a good year that when you were there, eh?
Bro, 100%. Like, imagine me, like a small boy, rocking up to like a country town. I'm off today. Like, all you blokes driving around in utes and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, goodness me.
It would have been a massive change for you. Like, where did you come from first before that?
Yeah, so I came from South Auckland, which is like, oh God, nothing compared to Toowoomba and country town. It's a bit of a rough part of New Zealand, but rocking up to Toowoomba and seeing everyone driving utes, like I said, I was like, dude, this is cool, man. Like, I'm used to seeing vans and stuff.
It would have been a massive culture change.
Oh, dude. And the accent too, like, just bogans everywhere. And it was actually you who inspired me to buy like a cowboy hat. You know, like how you guys used to wear the hats.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to get around the culture.
Have you still got it?
Yeah, I still got it. back in NZ though.
Yeah. Do you wear it often or no?
Yeah, in summer.
You rip it out and just get on the piss and whatever.
Literally, everyone's like, why are you wearing that? I'm like, nah, it's close to my heart.
It would be close to your heart. A lot of good memories in Toowoomba, eh?
Oh, goodness me. I told myself I want to go back there, and if there was one like location I would settle in, would be Toowoomba.
That's a big call.
I know. It's small, but it's like you're 19, you're there, you're like playing footy. Oh, dude, it's such a good spot.
It is a good spot. You went from Toowoomba. Before playing at Toowoomba though, you were playing touch, right? You were pretty much a professional touch player.
Yeah.
Tell me how you got into touch, at the start of your career, or what brought that foundation for you to start playing touch?
Yeah, so I guess I started playing touch as a hobby around 10, 12 years old, just something to do in the summer. And all throughout high school, it was kind of like you do it in the summer and then you focus on rugby union because obviously New Zealand has a massive culture.
Massive culture of rugby
exactly.
Union.
Like everyone wants to grow up and be an All Black.
Yeah, exactly.
Like same thing as over here in Aussie, you want to be an NRL player.
Yeah.
So growing up I was like, okay, let's play touch to stay fit during the summer, and then I ended up having shoulder surgery, bro.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, on my right shoulder when I was 14.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that took me out of contact sport. And that kind of made me focusing on, I see touch as like as a full-time thing, like I need to heavily focus on this because it's obviously less contact. Yeah. And, I was small at the time, real small. So I was like, let's try to nudge it in a bit.
Yeah. And you played, you started at 14, as you said, or a bit earlier, 12 or whatever.
Well, I kind of took it seriously around like 16.
Yeah, okay.
I remember, bro, like, petty story, like growing up seeing all my mates make like the under 15 NZ, like under 14s. Like I never made any of their sides.
Yeah,
and
right.
Like at the time I was kind of like, I'm taking this a bit more serious now. I'm not making these teams, and I'm just like, and like started to play a lot in my mind. Like,
of course it does for everyone.
Exactly. That's when I kind of understood like the mental battle of sport.
Yeah,
like,
right.
You've been through your share as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you started, taking it seriously around 16. What made you flip that mental switch and go, I want to give this a good crack?
Yeah, well, it was actually my long-term mentor now, Luke Chapman. Shout out to Chappie. There was one summer, bro, and I'll tell you the story. Pretty good story. One summer, a few friends of mine, Jesse Pascoe, Kelly Hegner Morgan, and his brother Darius.
Yeah.
We all sat down after we won the regional touch comp.
Yeah.
And for us, that region was pretty huge because we always lost to this one suburb, bro.
Yeah, right.
They're called Waikato. So
Okay.
they're like full farm boys, just gritty, just non-stop. And we were like, the flashy stuff. We did all the flashy stuff in the game. So anyway, we were always losing to these guys every single year. And then this one year, we ended up winning. We went out to Christchurch and won. And from that season, bro, we were like, dude, we'd just come off winning the national title. Like, surely the next step is New Zealand.
Yeah.
So us four, that summer we told ourselves, dude, let's grind. And that was the summer that literally like changed everything for me, bro. Like, started making New Zealand team straight after. So it was big kudos to those guys.
That would have been cool. Such a great experience.
Ridiculous, man. From coming, like, not making anything and just out of nowhere. Yeah,
There you go.
pretty crazy.
So you made the national squad at the age of 17.
Yeah.
How was the feeling of that, and what was it like leading up to it?
Oh, dude, it was pretty crazy. I remember the squad got announced when I was in English class, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, so we were
In school?
Yeah, in
Just sitting
school. I was in school. Yeah, I was sitting in school, and I remember we were doing like a test, like a literal. Oh my god, like a normal, like literally like
A literacy test, yeah.
Yeah, like one of those things. And I remember one of my close mates posted it on my Instagram, and he was like, congrats. And I was like, what the hell? But I didn't think of it at the time. Like, I went to the trial, got invited to the trial.
Yeah.
And at the time I was like, I'm the young pup, like, it's still a mean experience for me to go to have a trial, like,
that's fucking
at 17. I was like, I didn't think anything of it. And then literally as soon as the test finished, my phone just starts blowing up. And at that time, iPhone 5C, like,
yeah, it would have been just like glitching out.
Literally glitching out, like 3G back then. Like, so I was like, let's see what's going on. And at that time, Snapchat was a big thing. So then people were sending me Snapchats saying, congrats. And I was like, what the hell? Congrats for what? Like, what did I do?
Yeah, right.
Did I, like, I don't know, get a school award or something? And then it just clicked. I'm like, dude, I actually made the squad. Like,
that's
what
sick.
the hell?
Yeah.
Like,
sitting in class as well. That would have been so weird. That's actually happened to me a couple of times too.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
you finish work and you open your phone, you're like, what the fuck is this?
You're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
like,
no. It's real
life-changing things. And it was pretty cool because, like, my mates all recognized, and they were like, the teacher came up to me and shook my hand. I was like, bro, this is a pretty cool moment. So
yeah, it would have been
happened
mad.
in school. Like, and obviously, like, being an Islander, we all sat at the back. Because the back was like the cool kids.
Yeah, of course. It always is. Yeah.
The cool kids sit at the back. So, like, when it happened, it was one of the... his name was Charlie Hastings. He told me, he was like, oh my gosh, sir, Tarkyn man. Turned around. I was just like, I did? I was like,
yeah,
cool.
shit.
Yeah.
You probably weren't allowed to whip out your phone, but you probably did.
Bro. My school was pretty, like, strict with, with technology.
Yeah, of course.
Like, talk about technology now. Everyone has iPads and
in their class and shit.
Oh gosh,
the days. Imagine if you were like that now,
dude. Crazy stuff, man. These kids have it too easy.
Yeah. Talk to me about the tournament. You got picked for that side. What was it like? You get picked. What's the next stages after that? Got to go to training.
Yeah. So obviously you get picked for the squad, and then we have a few camps leading up to the tour. So we were based in Auckland. We had a few camps in Auckland, a few camps down in Rotorua, I believe.
Yep.
And then we ended up flying to Sunny Coast.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, like me, like as a 17-year-old rocking up to Sunny Coast.
Yeah.
I was just like,
was it your first time there?
Yeah, first time, like proper, like, since obviously making the transition from Solomon Islands to Oz, then to NZ. So it was my first time going to Sunny Coast.
Yeah.
17, like, in the New Zealand squad. I was like, dang, this is cool,
that would have
man.
been sick.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. Was it at the Sunny Coast Stadium as well?
Bro.
So the whole tourney was there.
Yeah, so we played like a 3-match test series against Oz.
Yep.
That was sick, man. I played pretty well. Like, I surprised myself, actually.
Yeah.
Ended up getting a try debut, but then we ended up losing the series, which sucked.
To who?
It's Oz.
Yeah,
so
right.
we just 3-match test series. You guys are too good at touch. But I'm telling you, like, you're hearing it first. The World Cup just got announced.
Yeah.
in London, and I reckon my boys have got it.
Yeah, got a strong side.
Yeah, they got a strong side. I'm not in the mix anymore, but they're I'm backing them all the way, bro.
Yeah, right. So what year was this?
So this is 2017.
Okay, so
that was a sunny coast.
After this tourney, what's your next move to go? You know,
Yeah,
whatever in sport you may do.
Yeah, so after that, I was studying at the University of Auckland at the time.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. I was studying and I was training, and then after that, there was the following year I got selected in the squad again.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Gone.
Crazy. And this time it was in New Zealand. So 1 year it's in Australia, then 1 year it's in New Zealand.
Yeah,
this
right.
time it was in Rotorua, and oh man, Rotorua was sick. The weather was shit though.
Typical. Yeah.
The Rotorua weather was so shit.
Yeah,
but
right.
it's such a beautiful place. But the tournament was sick. We ended up going into overtime.
Yeah.
And unfortunately
Lost again.
Yeah, but
To who?
it's still to us, but it's all right. Like that's that's
that's just footy, eh?
yeah, bro. Like you said, like you win, you lose, but after that was 2018, and that was pretty cool. Like to see all my whānau travel down.
Yeah, that would
To
have been
hear
mad.
some of my mates, like obviously because it's the first time like for me performing.
Yeah.
In front of like a New Zealand crowd.
So how big was the crowd? Are we talking in New Zealand?
Oh, at the time it was like the weather was bad.
Yeah.
But then that's when they started really heavily like televising stuff. So a lot of people were like into their live streams, but the crowd was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
It would have been pretty good
it was,
atmosphere.
it was sick, man. Like
Mm.
Rotorua International Stadium, beautiful place. The locals got around it too, so
Yeah.
it was bloody gorgeous, man. It
That's
was
mad.
sick.
Yeah, that's must have been a sick experience, to be honest.
Bro, it was sick.
And yeah, that was 2019, right?
That was 2018.
2018.
And then 2019, that was the big year actually.
The big year. Tell me
big
about
year.
it. Moving on.
Gosh, a lot of things happened that year, bro. Like I kind of
What were you saying?
so 2019 was the big year, bro. Like a lot of things happened obviously at the start of the year. That's when we went to Malaysia
Yeah.
for the World Cup.
That would have been fucking alright,
I
eh?
was sick, man.
Yeah.
Because the year, so Rotorua 2018, I was lucky enough to play in the men's, and then the same year I went to Malaysia for the under-20s World Cup,
Yeah.
the Youth World Cup.
Yeah.
And that was sick. Like,
You captained that side, right?
yeah, pretty crazy.
That would have been such a great privilege.
Yeah.
Did they do a bit of a ceremony for that?
Yeah. Oh man, that was like, for me, that was actually the first time like a crowd has performed the haka to me.
Yeah, right.
And I remember like in the room, and I was like tearing up. I'm like, dude, this is like, you can feel the mana, you can feel like the energy.
Yeah.
And like I was like, bro, this is like huge, man.
That would have been huge.
Like, oh gosh, just seeing everyone, like my close mates performing it, and I was like, dude, okay, this is the big time. Like, you need to step up. Like, no more little boy stuff.
Yeah, legit.
Like, you need to step up to the platter because this is the big show.
Yeah.
So that was sick, man. That was a cool experience. We ended up losing to Oz in the final.
Yeah. Oh no.
5-3. Oh gosh.
Yeah, right.
So that was a cool experience. Like a bunch of 19-year-olds in Malaysia, Singapore.
Yeah.
Oh, it was sick, man. But no, that was pretty cool. That was like probably one of my favorite sporting moments thus far.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
Yeah, captaining that side, and I had like a good bunch of boys, and everyone was like real on board with the goals we had, and everyone was well behaved.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all got along. Like, it was a bloody good group of boys.
Apart from the footy over in Malaysia, what was like the culture over in Malaysia there?
Oh,
Did you get
everyone's
much to look
man.
around? Or
Yeah, everyone's nice. Like, people are so friendly.
Yeah, right.
Like, I was actually taken back. I was like, dude, everyone like we see, they're just hi, like bowing to us,
Yeah,
and
that would've been
like,
sick.
yeah, man, like the locals are sick over there. Like, people are so nice. Whereas, like, I don't know, I guess people are just so caught up in their day-to-day lives.
Like, especially in a working culture,
exactly,
Malaysia's
bro.
like a little bit more different to that. Yeah.
Like your average Joe over there would just be like, look at you and say hi. Like,
That's
everyone's
good.
so like the spirits are so high, and I'm just like, man, this is
It
like,
would have been a sick experience.
it was gorgeous, bro. It was beautiful.
What was the highlight of that though? Of that trip in Malaysia? Obviously, it's still a highlight of your life. What was like a big highlight in that trip though?
That's a tough one, but I would have to say. So we had this thing. We had a bet, all the boys, for that World Cup, the Youth World Cup. We said, okay, if we win, we're all gonna get tattoos.
Oh, right.
Of the World Cup. So we were already thinking ahead, bro.
Yeah.
Because in the pool play, we drew to Oz. So
Right.
we were like, bro, I reckon we got these guys. And I was telling the boys, I'm like, bro, they got 2 arms, they got 2 legs.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
sweet, bro. Like they're low key rattled. So
Yeah,
I reckon
yeah.
we got them. And then I remember the night before the final, we were like, yeah, we're gonna get tattoos and all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And that conversation was probably the highlight, because that's when, you know, when you're in a national side and like people come from different areas,
Yeah.
and it's a bit, you know, like the Aucklanders and the Waikato.
Yeah.
But at that moment, that's when we knew we were like a New Zealand team.
Right.
We were like, okay, this is like the conversation we needed to just
Yeah.
gel as a squad.
Yeah.
And like the night before the final could not come at like a perfect point.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the heart of the whole
You're already
thing.
booking the tattoos the
Literally,
next day.
we're thinking ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah, right. So what kind of tattoo were we thinking though? Where was it going to go?
Yeah, so we were actually thinking of like getting one on our ass
your
cheeks
ass.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
something
oath.
like
Yeah.
like not many people see it, and then
Yeah.
if you bring it out,
Yeah,
everyone will
everyone's
be like,
like, yeah, that's
yeah,
fucking cool.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, that would have been sick. But yeah, we ended up losing. So
Yeah, right. Would have been a sad fucking plane trip home.
oh, dude, tell me. So after, it was a bit naughty of us. Like we were real devo about the loss.
Yeah, of course.
And I actually got in heaps of trouble for this. Yeah, because we weren't supposed to drink.
Yeah, of course.
But I was like, I won't mention the name, but we somehow got alcohol into the hotel,
yeah.
and we just got absolutely plastered, bro.
Oh, as
at
you
the
would want
hotel.
to, though.
Like
As you would want to.
19-year-olds
Yeah.
in Singapore. I'm glad. Honestly, I'm glad no one died, bro. Like, if you take like a bunch of 19-year-olds now and you chuck them
Yeah.
in Singapore, bro, like
No, that would get crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we were well behaved. Just in the hotel, we were chilling, and that was like a pretty good experience.
Yeah.
To, like, you know, like end the whole World Cup.
Yeah.
Like just have a good summary. Like, man, okay, we fell short, but we enjoyed each other's company.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro. And then the plane trip back, hungover, post World Cup.
I know
blues.
exactly what it feels like.
We just
Yeah.
lost, and then 13 hours in economy. We're just like, dude,
13 hours in economy would have been
Okay.
rough. Yeah.
let's do that.
I've never done over 4 hours in economy, so
Really?
imagine 13.
Oh, 13 hungover, bro. But
Spilling up and shit.
I was lucky. Yeah, exactly. I screwed up twice on that flight, but I was lucky. My coach, my manager, Mike was next to me, and then I had these the two girls from the mixed team, and they were like sleeping on that side, and Mike was sleeping on that side.
Yeah.
And I was little at the time, so I had like heaps of room.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, okay, this doesn't feel like economy, but I'm making it work.
Yeah, making it work.
Oh,
Absolutely.
but 13 hours, bro. Oh, I can't even sit down for like an hour now. Like, I don't know how I did it, eh?
Oh, just even on the plane trips that we used to do,
Bro,
just from
exactly.
Emerald to Emerald to
fucking-
wherever you were going or wherever.
bro,
It was still a
no.
bit rough then.
Yeah,
'cause it was
exactly.
hot and whatnot. But after the World Cup, you know, obviously coming off a pretty sad loss.
Yeah.
Did you feel any bit, you know, unmotivated to keep going, or did you just feel, you know, I'll just keep going?
Yeah, I think for me, like, that was a massive turning point. I was like, okay, fast track 2 years. I've been thinking of this moment. I knew like 2 years ago, 2000 and what, 16, that I knew that there was going to be a World Cup.
Yeah.
And just to like kind of see that like flow through, I kind of prepped myself mentally to be like, okay, if I lose, what's my next step? And I always had the saying, and I still have the saying, and I still use it today, is next job.
Yeah.
And I got that from like my mentor now, Luke Chapman. He always talks about next job, next job.
Yeah.
Like, you can dwell on it, but at the end of the day, like, life moves on. You know,
Yeah.
the sun's gonna rise up.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. So, honestly, I was like real devo. That was a massive hit, losing that World Cup for me, because like I captained it, and like I tore my meniscus in day one.
Yeah.
So I felt as though like I didn't perform at my best.
Yeah. It would have been hard performing with the torn meniscus the whole
Yeah, well, see,
tournament.
I didn't tell the boys, bro.
Oh, you wouldn't have. You just
Nah.
wanted to play footy, eh?
Exactly, like day one, it happened against, I think it was Oz. Yeah, I tweaked my knee, and I thought it was just like It was fine. Went to the physios, and the physio's like, yeah, your meniscus is gone. And I was like, what? But the boys were all on the other side of the tent. So I was like, I told my coach, Mike Cav, and I was like, dude, the boys cannot know. Like, just strap it up, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But you know, like when you have an injury, you play off adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah. It's all good until after the game.
Exactly. And then get back home and you're limping, but it's fine. So yeah, bro, like that was mentally that was a massive headache. Like, honestly, I was like a bit like demotivated because I suffered an injury, lost. Oh, those first probably 2 months we got back to New Zealand, I really commend my mum and dad for sticking by me. You know, like post World Cup blues. And like, you know, everyone kind of stays away from staying in contact with each other for a while. And mum and dad helped me through that injury like tenfold, bro. Like,
no, it's good.
Oh, goodness.
Best supports ever.
Oh, 100%.
So you're moving on from, you know, the World Cup. Where are your next, what's your next money moves to?
Yeah, so after that Youth World Cup, that was 2018. And then we get on to the big year, 2019. So 2019 was huge, man. Like I ended up going to the World Cup again for the men's squad. All praise to God that happened, man. Like, another experience that I'll never forget. And that men's squad, like looking at on paper, like, dude, one of the best men's squads that New Zealand could ever produce, I reckon. Like that squad was just killer, man. We had a bloody good squad, bloody good captain, bloody good co-captain, bloody good coach. Like everything was in the works. Bro, like everything was in the works, and it was like a few like hard months of preparation where we were just like camps and, you know, like media obligations and all the stuff. Like the hype was real, man. We were going good. So yeah, that was in April 2019, early April.
That would have been cool, making it for like 3 years in a row. The NZ squad.
So it was sick, man. Like, I was just riding the wave, like I said, like just riding the wave and enjoying my time, like as a young guy, a young athlete. So that was sick. We ended up I ended up going back to the World Cup with two of the boys who were in my 20 squad. So we were all frothing, bro.
That would have been cool.
Going again. Like, and we had this little group. There was three of us, myself, Chops, and Awa Morris, and we were called the Migos.
Right.
That was like a little thing. We were like the young fellas. And at the time, that's when their song "Pure Water" came out.
That song.
Everyone
wanted to listen to that song. Exactly. It was on everywhere.
Literally,
especially in the rugby league and all the footy 100%. Scene.
So we were like, oh no, we can get on this. So that's when that song came out, and that was like a massive part. That was like our World Cup anthem as like a trio. So that was pretty cool, like going back to the World Cup in April. And unfortunately lost to Oz again. But can you see like the recurring like phase of my career at the moment?
Just Oz.
If you can't beat them, join them. Quoted.
And you did eventually.
Exactly. So went to the World Cup. And at that time, I knew I signed with the Mustangs.
Up the mighty Mustangs.
Up the Mustangs, bro. T-Bar, hold it close to my heart. So it was a pretty quick turnaround, bro. Like, I didn't have that long. Probably had like 3 days in Singapore after the World Cup. With Dad. And that was just kind of like father-son time after the World Cup. Because, again, that was a massive Devo hit again.
It would have been, you know, a couple of years in a row running now.
Exactly, bro. So that was in April 2019. Ended up going to the World Cup again. Lost in the final. And then literally 3 days in Singapore. Boom, straight to Brizzy. Start of the Mustangs career.
Tell me about that. You know, it's your first rugby league season. Like first, you know, touch and rugby league are very the same kind of sport. But, you know, when you look at it at a broader perspective, they are a lot different. And a lot of people do rate them as the same, which they are. Like, I get that, but like once you look into it, it's a lot different. So, tell me about, you know, meeting Eugene Seddon. That was our coach, absolute ripper fella. And coming over for a sport that you've, you know, technically never played. Tell me about that.
Well, Eugene made it like clear from the start. Like, you have no pressure coming here. Like, you're just here to, you know, like perform. You're here to do your job and just give it a crack, really. And like, still big ups to him for giving me the opportunity, like a touch player. You know, like never played league in his life. And at the time, I didn't even follow the NRL. Like, I didn't.
Yeah, right.
You couldn't tell me if your average NRL bloke rocked up. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool.
You wouldn't even really care. You just
so
whatever.
it was real weird, bro.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I was like, okay, I need to study, because when it comes to sports, like, I'm real technical. I'll try to be real technical, and I forced myself to be obsessed with it.
Yeah, okay.
So I remember on the plane, the flight to Brisbane, bro, I spent like so many hours like watching NRL highlights.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, let me watch the wingers.
Yeah.
Let me watch the wingers. Let me watch the wingers. Let me watch the fullback.
Yeah.
See what they're doing. And that was me kind of doing like my own preparation mentally.
Yeah.
And like I said, the turnaround was so quick that I had to be like, okay, next job.
Yeah, next job, and you're on straight on to the next one.
Straight on to the next one.
Got ya.
So, yeah.
Right, so you meet Eugene. I've never really heard this story because you kind of just came out of none of the boys never really knew that you came. So you meet Eugene. Where do you meet him?
Yeah. So Eugene, Eugene actually got into my former manager, Luke Strama. And
Lukey.
Yeah, Lukey, good bloke, bro.
Yeah,
good,
he is.
He's an absolute champion. And yeah, he got onto Eugene and was like, oh yeah, this is a guy from NZ. He's keen to come over.
Yeah.
And then got me the gig. Came over with my mum to sign the contract and do all that jibber jazzer. It was sick.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
And so me and Eugene and I had like a pretty good relationship.
Yeah.
Leading into the campaign. Rock up. Was fortunate enough to stay at his house for a bit. Stay at his mum's house.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was living with his mum, and his mum was like, "Oh, the best like introduction." Because, bro, I didn't know how to do my washing. Like, shout out to mum. Didn't know how to do my washing. All I knew how to do was like wash the dishes and like vacuum.
Yeah.
But like, had no idea how to turn on what a top loader like liquid or powder, bro, any of that stuff.
Any clue.
Nothing, bro.
Yeah.
So Eugene's mum taught me a lot.
Yeah, that's cool, eh?
Yeah, she taught me how to iron too. Like my mum, because mum used to do all the ironing and stuff.
Yeah, she was just one of those mums, eh?
Yeah, 100%. Did everything, bro. She was like I said, mums are mums, bro.
Yeah.
They'll be there until we pass away. So Eugene's mum gave me like a massive kick of the ass to be like, okay, this is how you clean, this is how you think. So I was like, okay. And I think I needed that, bro. Like being away from home, I just thought, I'll be in a footy house and I can just be dirty and just
if you're with the boys or whatever.
Exactly, it'd be sick. But I feel as though that was a perfect introduction to the life of semi-professional 19-year-old. So it was grand. It was awesome. So stayed at his mum's place for a while, which is only down the road from Gold Park.
From Gold Park. Yeah.
Right. So it was sick. Like, just literally borrowed one of Eugene's old bikes. He has to bike to training, and then he got me at a job at this meat factory.
Yeah, I remember when you started working there.
Exactly, bro. So I used to ride in the morning, wake up at 6 o'clock, ride to work.
Wow.
Yeah, and then ride back to home, because I only had a small bag, so I couldn't fit all my stuff. I just had my work stuff. So I used to wake up in the morning, ride from home to work, from work ride all the way back home, and then from home
ride to training.
Ride to training. So
that would have been
sick.
so cool.
Oh, bro, it was sick. It was so much easier when I moved into Steve-O.
Yeah, that would have been easy.
Oh, bro,
easy.
I literally just had to ride there, ride back, and then catch a ride. So.
He was a massive hand to you, hey?
Oh,
Steve-O,
bro,
man, such a nice fellow.
He's a legend.
Yeah,
absolute legend. He was for me, the big brother that I needed.
Yeah.
To keep my head, focused. And I remember throughout the season, he would be honest with me, like, bro, you had a shit game. That Sunny Coast game, atrocious.
Yeah.
Too many drop balls in that game.
He was an honest man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's what you needed.
Yeah, bro. I feel as though, you need good mates around you to be like, okay, you fucked up.
Yeah.
Because, too many guys can be all honey-coated and be like, no, it's all right.
No, it's all good, bro. You did this. Yeah,
exactly. But it's you can be like that, but how am I going to improve?
Yeah.
And Steve-O was brutally honest.
I loved that constructive criticism right into you.
100%. He was the first one, he'll be like, after the game, yeah, well done, mate. You played good. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. When you got a good compliment from Steve-O,
that's
it was it was nearly better than the coach.
Literally, 100%. You're just like, oh yes, that's mad respect. And I lived with him, so I was like, oh dude, everyone respected him so much. So I was like, okay, wanna ride the wave.
Yeah.
Ride the wave.
Talk to me about the preseason with the Mustangs. You know,
Yeah.
people sometimes, you know, underrate it and stuff because it's, you know, it didn't have a Q Cup side.
Yeah.
Then it didn't really have much professional. What did we even have a feeder club then?
No, we were at the time we were with the Titans, but it wasn't like
It wasn't directly affiliated.
pathway.
Yeah, it wasn't a
type of
pathway.
thing.
Yeah.
But honestly, like my experience was pretty sick. Like, and I feel as though a lot of it had to do with like the people around me. Like, obviously we had Blake, who was like bloody good captain.
Yeah.
And Brass and yourself. Like, you know when you surround yourself with like the hardest workers in the room.
Yeah.
And I felt as though we kept each other accountable during the preseason and during trainings, which made like my experience like tenfold.
Yeah.
Because I could have easily gone into, you know, like,
chill.
Yeah, rocked up, wasted this opportunity.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I had good people around me like yourself. Like, bro, the amount of times like I would be chilling in training, I'd have a long day at work, and I'd look and I'm like, bro, this guy's on the roll. Like, holy Mitch Fowler, what the frick,
Fuck
man?
off.
What the fuck? And Brass, like, right next to you going hard. I'm just like, oh, dude, this is like the epitome of Aussie hard work.
Yeah.
Like, country boys, you and Brass, like Blake Cullen, like, bro.
Oh, Blake Cullen, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he is in the HPC squad up the Toowoomba at the moment. I'm not
100%.
sure. I did see a little snippet of him in the Western Club. Yeah,
bro,
legit.
if there's one guy who needs a crack.
it and deserves it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's sick.
Yeah. Tell me about the first game of rugby league for the Western Mustangs, though. It's your first, you know, you're running out on the field. What you're feeling? It's your first game of rugby league. You're going, fuck, how am I going to go?
Bro, okay, so the first game, I rocked up and I was just doing the same processes as I had during touch.
Yeah, so same prep and that.
Yeah, same prep. And I'm not much of like a superstitious guy. Like, I don't put my left sock on before my right. Anything like that. I'm just chilled. Like, so I did the same processes and I was just like, okay, it's just another game of touch. Just another game of touch.
Yeah.
But you have to tackle. And
have to tackle,
So, rocking up, Eugene came to me before the game and he was just like, remember, like, no pressure, just go out there and have fun. And I was like, okay, sweet. And I remember running out and I was just like, dude, this is like it. Like, all this prep, like the past 2 weeks, like the World Cup, blah, blah, blah. You moved here, learn how to do your washing for the first time. Like, it's all come to this moment, like your debut, like, come on, bro, like, you need to G up.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, the main thing that was going through my head was just like, bro, enjoy the moment. Like, you're here, man. Like, and literally. It literally gives me goosebumps talking about it because I'm like, for anyone to rock up, like, you know, just to own it, I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. I want to take the step and just be like, okay, let's just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, if you start overthinking it, then it's just like, oh, I'm going to drop the ball.
Yeah,
do this. So,
just enjoy it.
Yeah, bro. And like I said, like, no better way playing at home for the debut. Like, obviously Coach Eugene and like the boys just around me. I was like, dude, this is like the culture, man. Like, I'm frothing it.
Yeah.
Sick.
So, who's the first game though? Who was the first game you played against?
It was South Logan.
Yeah, right. Good game to debut against.
Literally. And I remember I was on my wing was Levi Sutton.
Yeah, right.
Big Levi, Samuel Levi.
Yeah.
Levi, I'm gonna take you in this. You clotheslined me when I was young.
He was good like
literally,
that.
Bro. He was like gun winger, like your modern day Brian Tor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, literally. And I remember before the match, I asked Blake, I'm like, oh, who's this Levi guy?
Yeah.
And Blake's eyes like blew up. He's like, no, you'll be alright. And I'm like, dude, this guy must be freaking good then.
Yeah, he was good then.
And I was like, oh shit, man. And I remember walking out and he like gave me a cheeky smile and I'm like, yeah, this guy's gonna fuck me up, man.
Yeah.
But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dude, I reckon if I run hard, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
My first run, I get absolutely belted.
Bro, rugby league.
Bro, I literally put on my ass and I'm just like, oh shit, I love this shit. Let's do it. Like, you know, keep going.
Yeah.
So that was the first game. Ended up playing pretty good. Almost got a try on debut.
Yeah.
but I freaking stood out.
Yeah.
Oh, my touch coach would not be happy about that finish. I was so poor. Bro, so poor.
I think I remember the moment, to be honest.
Literally. And everyone was celebrating too, like at school, and I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure I got it down. And the sideline put it up, and I was like,
I remember that.
Not a fairy tale moment.
No,
it's
it
all right.
wasn't, but whatever.
Yeah, so the debut went well, bro, and literally after went back to the sheds, and I was just like, dude, man, this is like the culture, like, you know.
Did you fall in love with rugby league after that, or?
Bro, that was the moment I fell in love with rugby league.
Yeah.
Like, that moment was just like, boom, okay.
Yeah.
Like, this sport is sick.
Yeah.
Man. Like,
and the culture around it, you know, it's just really 100%. Good. So,
and I feel as though, like, even rocking up and seeing, like, some of the locals rock up to Gold Park, I was just like, bro, like 420s match, like,
yeah, absolutely,
you know, like, this is cool, man.
That was a pretty cool atmosphere when you would have a pretty decent crowd for a 20s game, eh?
Exactly. So
usually you would have Melbourne Inga and shit beforehand, and then
like lead up into it, but we didn't have that luxury. So for people to rock up like A grade and then watch the 20s, it was sick.
Yeah, we didn't have the best year though.
Yeah,
let's talk about that for a second.
well, as a group, in terms of like
mateship and all that, absolutely amazing.
Oh,
you know?
Literally, man.
I still rate it on one of my top, like, you know,
squads.
pinnacles, squads of being a part of, because it was just, I don't know, I was, you know, only 18 or something when I started.
I know, you're young bloke, bro.
Yeah, I was young in that squad, and it was like it was kind of cool for me to be in a 20 system at that age. So I was like, this is mad, whatever.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. But we needed like the youth coming through, like you guys, Brass, like, you know, those types of boys to give us like that jump. Yeah, because I felt as though we, like, being like one of the older boys, like we got a bit too comfortable. You know what I mean? And we just needed that flair. Yeah, and for you guys to rock up and just be like, nah, this is how you train. This is what it needs to be, because your expectations of, you know, being under 20s, it's tenfold. Yeah. Whereas us, we're like, you know, we were used to it. So it was like, dude, you guys were pushing the pace.
Yeah, I was trying my hardest.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You did bloody good too.
Yeah. Like, it was good.
I'm really freaking stoked that we had like a youthful squad.
It was a young side when you look at it, eh? And had a few come in and out as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like coming through A grade, and then, you know, like come back into the squad, which is good. Yeah, like I felt as though it was a bit weird though, because we had a few like guys who were eligible for the team, stuck in A grade. Yeah,
that only played A grade.
Played A grade. And I was just like, dude, come on, man. Like, help us out, bro.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of the highlights of that season, it wasn't really a highlight, to be honest. It was more the drink up afterwards. It was the Townsville trip.
Oh, no.
The Mad Cow Tavern.
No. Shout out to the Mad Cow Tavern. Bloody moo.
Yeah. Literally, that was like, I've never been to Townsville before. I don't know if
same.
you...
No, that was my first trip.
It was all good. Hot as fuck. But
hot as fuck.
And we were playing...
Ride.
Yeah.
And then...
We were playing next to 1300 Smiles that day.
Yeah.
You know, and we were giving it a good shake at the start.
Yeah.
And then kind of just, you know, as the mellowed out. But it was more the piss up afterwards. If you lost, you could still go to the Mad Cow. So shout out to the Mad Cow.
Oh, dude, that was sick. I was actually like so keen to just go up there like as a footy trip. And the place we stayed, it was bloody gorgeous too.
Gorgeous.
Pool, everything. It was sick. And then, the game didn't go our way, but...
It was a sick experience.
Oh man, after was sick. And at that time, like, there was like no COVID, so there was like international people. Yeah, there was like heaps of tourists. Yeah. You know, like young footy players rocking up. We're just like, dude, this is sick.
Especially, being such a youth team, as you said. Yeah. It would have been sick. Like, for all us young fellas. Eh?
Bro, literally, I was like, bro, this is like the lifestyle.
It was pretty lifestyle. Cool. I did fall in love with lifestyle after that. If you got to do that every weekend, I would play footy, even if you got pumped.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got absolutely belted. But, like,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah. That Townsville trip was like, oh, bro. It was sick.
Obviously not making finals at all for the Mustangs. I think we got a couple of wins in maybe 2 or 3 or whatever. Yeah. But at the end of the season, you know, it's your first season of rugby league. What are you thinking from here? You know, like, how old were you? I was
19.
You were 19, so you were eligible to play HTC, like 20s the next year or whatever. But But I'm pretty sure, as you know, COVID came along after this season.
Yeah.
That's when I shooted off to the Sunny Coast
I
Falcons.
know.
And then you were thinking of coming there too.
Yeah.
I got, 6 weeks into training. It's been called off because of COVID.
Yeah.
And all that. And then where did you go?
Yeah, so I actually went up to Mackay.
That's right. Yeah.
I went up to Mackay to do like a pre-season with, not with the Cup squad, but kind of like the wider squad.
Yeah.
So I went up there after, and coming off like my first, I guess, like league season.
Yeah.
I was like, dude,
motivated.
I was like, okay, like I feel as though like for first season I did alright. I scored a few tries, did pretty well, and I was like, okay, I feel as though like I could probably give this a crack. I wasn't convinced. I didn't convince myself yet.
Yeah.
That I could like go like proper. But I was like, oh, let's just give it another go. Like I'm young.
Yeah.
At the time I was 19. Like, bro, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
Went up to Mackay. And then like you said, we were like did pre-season.
Hot up there as well.
Bro, ridiculous. But I'm telling you, that's when I got introduced to like proper attire for like Queensland clubbing.
Yeah, right.
Because we rocked up there. And bro,
right.
people rock going out in shorts.
Yeah.
Like, what?
No one goes out in shorts.
No one goes out in shorts.
In Brisbane, no one really goes out in shorts either.
Exactly.
But like up there, you would see plenty of people going around in shorts.
Literally, that's why I was at the time. I was like, oh, bro, like this is pretty cool. Like I can rock up in like free shorts and still get let in.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went up to Mackay. Pretty cool experience. I met like a couple of the Kiwi boys from back in Auckland, and we stayed up there in the shared house, which is pretty cool experience. Just like to spend with like Kiwi boys.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we ended up from there, like you said, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So what happened to you? What happened to you after COVID? Like
COVID. So usually
pre-season, then
pre-season. It was like 6 weeks into pre-season. It was like the most eerie experience there was, I reckon.
Cool. Yeah. So, what happened with me after COVID? I had to go back home.
Yeah.
Because I had no family here, and I was just like, dude, I'm not staying in Australia in a country where I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
And I was like, at the time, like the pandemic was like nothing we ever heard of, bro.
It was the weirdest experience.
Yeah. So you went from Sunny Coast, and then 6 weeks into preseason.
Yeah. And you're just like. I remember the spirit. It was like a really eerie experience because you're at work and you get all these text messages from the coach and you're like, we got to have a meeting about this COVID situation. It's highly deadly to the community. Literally. And all this other stuff. So everyone's rocking up. Not really anyone had any idea what was going on. Like, because it was like, what is this COVID thing? What is it? And then we all get gathered round, and obviously there's no training. We're like, are we training or what's going on? We're all sitting around the gym like, what's going on?
Chilling.
Yeah. And he just tells it how it is. He's like, boys, I'm pretty sure the season's going to be called off. Like we had the cup side and the 20 side. We had pretty much the whole club together. And
did COVID hit Sunny Coast at the time? Nah,
it hadn't really hit. It was kind of Brizzy, kind of.
Yeah.
And like as you know, all the comps will collide, and that's what they were looking at.
So they were just like, I think we're done.
Yeah, and they were like, we don't know much yet, but we're just going to have to call it off for a while.
Right.
So, and then it just kept going and going, getting worse. And then, as you know, the post gets sent out.
Dude.
Q Cup's cancelled. This is cancelled. This is official. Everything's cancelled for a whole year.
God.
Yeah, and that was it. So. I got laid off my job because of COVID.
Oh, true.
Income wasn't coming in for our business. It was a newly found business. So I, moved over, to a family friend and got pretty much laid off. And he's like, mate, I'll be honest with you, we don't have enough work here for you.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, yeah, righto. I mean, there's not really much point me being here if I'm not playing footy.
No,
so
100%.
I moved back home to Esk with my parents.
Good.
And just kind of kicked it up there for a while. Not gonna lie, it was cool. Like it was cool to go back home.
Especially spending your mum and dad around like a world pandemic.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, yeah, we'll just go back home.
Yeah.
Ended up pretty much just having fun for a year. When you're out at Esk in the bush, you didn't really see much of COVID, only if you went into town.
Exactly.
I lived 10k out of town.
Oh goodness, so you had it perfect.
Yeah, so it was all good. I had my own gym. I had everything. We could do everything. So it was kind of a dream, to be honest. I was in a bit of a holiday, and and then I started my own kind of business, like as a landscaper kind of thing. So it was all good. I just did shit around town, and then got picked up by Norse, and then we just went on.
Oh, see, that's sick, bro. Like, you had the time.
You would have to go back home.
Yeah, so my situation was I went back home and everything was like closed down because obviously Jacinda was real anal about it, you know? Yeah. She was like the world's first to be like, nah, nothing's coming in, like, you know what I mean? And she got like a lot of criticism for it, but like kudos to her, like, bro, she stopped that shit. Yeah. Like tenfold. So it was pretty mean because like I rocked up back home and I was just like, okay, I don't really know what's happening. So I stayed at home for a bit, and at the time I was lucky enough to pick up a job through like a family friend. Yeah. So I was working and I was just doing like delivery driving stuff. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, just something chilled. Yeah. But you know, like I said, I was staying at home, so lucky mum and dad were still there to support me. Yeah. And at the time, my job was classified as a like essential worker. Yeah, yeah. So I was lucky enough I could still go work. Yeah, when the full lockdown came. So I was still working all throughout COVID, and that's when I like told myself that I was like, okay, I probably need to like start prepping for the next season, the upcoming season. Yeah. And shout out to JP, Jordan Papa, the amount of times I was like in his gym, bro, he literally could not get rid of me. I was like
there 24/7.
Bro, literally like if he had a pillow, like Jordan, if you had a pillow, like just like a Kmart pillow, I probably would have slept at the gym. Anyway, bro, so I was just in the gym like gymming most of the time all throughout COVID, and like I said, like it was pretty like weird because no one knew what the outcome or how long it was going to last. Like,
no one knew what was going on.
Bro. Yeah, so that was a bit weird. Like talking about it now, it's pretty crazy how kind of like gone past it now. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Good story to tell the kids one day.
Yeah, it'll be
the grandchildren. But like, bro, I told myself I want to make it like I'm gonna make it tenfold. I'm gonna be like, nah, there's people like dying everywhere.
There's just people full exaggerate the story.
Yeah, like some people had their like face cut off and like oh, you could not stand.
People were dropping everywhere. You couldn't go outside.
Literally, if you like looked at someone, you would get it. Imagine telling that,
The kids would be like, no.
They'll be like, oh my god, really? Like, yes, exactly. So make sure you wash your hands.
Exactly. After that COVID year, you go on to play down in Sydney for Blacktown.
Yeah, so after that I ended up playing local footy.
Oh, that's right, for Howick.
For Howick, yeah. So that was sick, man. Yeah. Like that was a bloody good experience because it was my first time playing rugby league at home.
In New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yeah. So I like had no idea how I would cope, and fortunate enough I had Drayden, my best mate.
Yeah, fuck, I remember that.
Played together, bro. So, oh man, that Howick season was just bloody unreal, man.
A lot of people went back to like their, grassroots or even just like playing local footy after that COVID year. A lot of people kind of just like, nah.
Just like, nah.
The major competitions, they did such a massive risk for them to not go on and then not play footy at all. So,
exactly.
A lot of people did that.
Bro, so our NZ comp was just stacked.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about all the lads from like New South Wales Cup, all the lads from Queensland Cup, and some of the boys internationally. They all came back and played in that local comp. So that Auckland rugby comp that year was just stacked, bro. You had like guys on the cusp of NRL pre-seasons, like all these guys coming from 20s. Yeah. So that season was tough, man, and that was probably like the best year of like Auckland Rugby League because everyone was like, dude, all the big names were coming back, and I was like, oh shit, man, like. And at the time, I remember rocking up to Howick, and the coach didn't know who I was, like, and I was still like, I didn't make like a big name for myself. Obviously, I was playing like in 20s, so when I rocked up, I was stuck in like the reserves for like the whole preseason, bro.
Yeah, right.
And that was like, oh, it's a long season, you keep telling yourself, like, oh, it's a long season, butter. And then it was funny story how I ended up making it to the top side. Was the announcement got made that we're gonna verse Mount Albert, and Mount Albert's like a pretty prestigious like club back in Auckland. So it was like the replay of the final from last year. So it was supposed to be like a top of the table clash. Round one, like big things going on, and I was stuck in reserves. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, it's alright, like, it's just round one, like, let it pass, and then hopefully someone gets injured or, things swing my way, then I'll get back on the top side. So anyway, funny story, Drayden and I went out clubbing, bro. Like, kid you not. So we had training that Thursday, and I told Dre, I'm like, bro, Dre, let's go for a drink, man. Like stuff this. I'm stuck in reserves. Not the way to handle it, kids.
No,
anyway,
no way.
I was like, stuff this. Let's go party. Like, like round one's next week. Let's go party. So we ended up going partying, and then while we were out, bro, the coach sends us a text saying, "Oh, we have an open trial this Saturday." So we're literally in the club, like getting absolutely like, like
fucking on it,
enjoying ourselves. And then I bring out my phone and I look at Dre and I'm like, dude, we have a trial tomorrow. And he's just like, well, let's get more shots. So I was like,
the only way to play. The only way to play,
bro. So get this, we ended up partying until like 4 a.m. and our trial was at 9 o'clock. Yeah, so we're in the club. It's like 11 o'clock, prime time, club time. Yeah. And I get a text on my phone, and it's like, you guys have your open Halberg trial tomorrow at 9 a.m. Saturday. And I look at Drayden, and I'm just like, dude, we got a trial tomorrow. And he's like, oh, let's get more shots. So we ended up getting more shots. Yeah. And just clubbing like into the night. And then we ended up going to sleep at like 4 o'clock. Yeah. Back at his in Howick. So Drayden stays like real close to the our like footy ground. So I was like, okay, so we go back to his, go to sleep at 4, and then ended up waking up having like McDonald's for breakfast. Oh no. Literally like just like the quickest thing just to end up at the trial.
So you need something in your guts. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like after a night out, and then rocked up to trial. Literally, and for some reason I was just on like during the trial. For some reason I was just like, dude, like everything's going my way. Like, I should do this more often. Anyway, ended up, from that trial, funny enough, got picked to be in the top side. Yeah, right. So I was like, dude, round one after a night out, like this is sick. Talk about miracles.
Yeah, literally.
Goodness me. So ended up playing round one, and that was like a televised game.
Yeah. So I remember that.
Yeah, it was sick. Like obviously versing the likes of like Aiden Ackland, Marcus Fraser, like all these big names back home. Like it was sick, man. And like playing with like the Howick boys, the guys that I've like kind of like idolized in the rugby league scene. Our captain at the time was Jeffrey Friend, and playing with Drayden, like bro, it was sick, man. Like that Howick season was bloody like amazing, man.
It would have been good, because coming off COVID as well, people wanted to watch footy, so there would have been heaps of people there.
Oh, bro, the crowds were huge for like
a local A-grade game,
bro. It was
that's
sick.
good, eh?
Literally, because everyone just wanted to get out.
Yeah, and just have a look at literally, everyone wanted to get out.
Literally, everyone was just like, oh, let's get out. So that televised game was like huge at the Nest. That's what we call it, the Nest. So I was lucky enough to make the top side. Started fullback. First
good.
Time
playing fullback as well.
Besides like 20s when I played like twice.
Just a couple of times.
Just a couple of times.
Here and there.
So that was like a massive change, but I ended up like playing pretty well, which is surprising.
It
was sick. It was sick. And then the Howell season went pretty well. Halfway through the season, boom, get injured.
Yeah, fuck, I remember that.
Bro.
Was your knee, or ankle?
That was my ankle.
Yeah.
And it was a shit go, because I was doing pretty well at that game. And I was targeting their left back row the whole game.
Yeah, right.
And like, you know me when I play, like I get a bit lippy.
Yeah, loves the shit. Yeah.
Literally, karma, shame. Anyway, got a bit too lippy after like just demolishing this guy's left side, and I was just like, okay, Tarkyn got a bit too comfortable. Whoop-de-doo, this guy literally follows me, tracks me across the field as I'm running across. I chuck a long ball out and he just slides straight into my ankle. Boom, ankle's gone, all the ligaments gone.
Yeah, wow.
And I was just like, dude, you just ruined my season. Like, what
That's
the
terrible.
hell? Yeah, it's alright. But I kind of had it coming too. Karma.
Yeah, literally.
Anyway, so I ended up needing surgery on that.
Yeah.
Which was
That was
like,
a major surgery too.
Yeah.
It was pretty major, right?
Yeah, it's pretty major. Still got mad scars from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy because then it was like prime COVID. So I could only have like one visitor, bro.
Oh, that would have been boring.
Oh, boring. And that was like a massive mental test too.
Was your hospital stay long though?
Yeah, bro, because it was like swollen, so they couldn't operate until the swelling went down.
So you had to sit in hospital and wait.
Yeah, so I had to like fast for about 5 days, and then they were like, okay, we're going to operate. And then they're like, whoops, no, we're not going to operate because it's still...
You had to fast for 5
days. And then I didn't eat, and then I ate on the 6th day, and then they're like, okay, we're going to operate like the next day. So I had to starve again.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they're like, jokes, we're going to move it to another day. So it went all the way to about a week and a half.
Yeah, right.
In total, like days, I had to like starve myself. Just
that would have sucked,
bro. Literally, and I was literally just praying, like, bro, come on, bro, just like go down a little bit so I can operate, and then I'll be sweet. You're not gonna eat. Like, I want a KFC, man.
Yeah,
like
you could eat whatever you wanted after that.
Oh,
fucking 5 days. I'm flat out going a couple of hours, dude. Let alone fucking 5 days.
Bro, it was ridiculous. But anyway, like, that's the medical procedures they had to go through. And I ended up like getting the surgery, and I could only have like one visitor at the time because COVID was like real boom boom boom. So that was like, bro, it was a massive mental test, man. And I turned to like my faith in those dark times. Yeah, because I'm a Catholic, grew up Catholic. Yeah, both mum and dad are devoted Catholics. So I felt as though in that time frame of my life was when like my faith really kicked in and was like, dude, Tarkyn, you're right. It's all G, like you played well this season, then it's a bit of a hiccup, but it's all a part of the journey, bro. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? Like you've had, we've both had our fair share of injuries, fucking surgeries. So like, I feel as though like as athletes, when you go through those tough times, you come back, bro, just a mad comeback season.
Yeah, it always is comeback season. Yeah, it's the hardest thing when you get two, back to back on the year. That's pretty rough. I get that. Like this is my first time going back to back with shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like the first shoulder was all sweet because I was mad motivated to get 100%. Back, and then it happens again, and then you're kind of just
now
like,
you're just like,
fuck, I can keep pushing. Like at the moment, my mental state with footy at the moment, like I'm very motivated. Yeah. But then like, you're halfway through a drill and you're just like,
exactly.
Whereas like before, I'd be like, fuck,
keep going. It's the first time it happened.
So no. That totally sucked. Get that. The mental fucking toughness of, getting those injuries through sport, as an athlete. Just fucking genuinely sucks.
Yeah, so that sucked, man. And like I said, like that was like a massive mental test where I was just like, dude, okay, I need to make sure that my faith's strong. Yeah. Mum and dad and my whānau was like with me throughout the whole process. And I still rocked up to the Howard games to support the boys because I was like, dude, like these Howard boys made me feel at home, first time playing back home. Yeah, right. I was like, dude, let's do this. Yeah, so sick. Yeah, and then ended up moving to Sydney, to Blacktown.
Hey, the workers.
The workers.
Western Sydney. Talk to me about fucking Western Sydney.
Bar. Nah, it was, bro, a bit of a pretty crazy experience. I'm not going to lie, because I remember like 2020, 2019, that's when like Oz Drill started being dominant in the Oz, like music scene. So at the time I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to Sydney, like I'm gonna get a Gucci bag. I'm gonna start buying tea. I'm gonna be an Ashay bar. Bro, honestly, that's what I thought. I was like, oh man, who's this little black kid gonna rock up on an Ashay lady? Like, what the hell? So I ended up going to play for the workers. Did the preseason with still like a fat ankle because it wasn't like fully recovered.
Yeah, and you were just trying to push through.
Yeah, just trying to push through. Like, bro, there's a massive opportunity for me to come like another like pretty good club and like moving to a new state. I was like, okay, let's give it a go. And I was lucky enough that like one of my close mates, Tony Tupanua, he was in the same club as well. Yeah. And I've known him since high school.
Right.
So he was like a massive like help for me.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
to just be like, dude, it's all G. Like, like someone close back home. So it was like a mean experience to do the preseason with him, and he's killing him now, bro. Like, shout out to him. I saw him out last night. Shout out to you, Donnie.
Yeah.
But yeah, like obviously did the preseason with the workers, and then played a few games. I got dropped back to A grade, so I played with Penrith
Brothers, Ron Massey Cup.
Yeah, and then ended up making my debut for Blacktown for the Massey side. Which is pretty sick. Like, the boys over there are bloody great. Like, I love them. Yeah. Like, they're good blokes, bro. Yeah. Not many SA lads, so that was...
Yeah, no.
Thank fuck. Bro, but everyone else, like, some of the supporters, you look at them, see Gucci bags and Gucci hats and Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
Sneakers.
It's just that kind of culture.
Yeah, that culture. And I was like, oh, man, shit, man.
It's way different to Brew Zone.
Yeah, I was like, every time, I'm not going to lie, every time, like, you played at Blacktown, I was like, bro, I got to play good, otherwise these fans are going to kick my ass. Like, bro, these fans are going to kick my ass, man.
So passionate. Fucking just talk to you about it.
But yeah, so that Blacktown experience was cool, and then boom, COVID hit again.
Yeah.
2.0.
Yeah, that was fucking shit as well.
Oh, bro.
That was only a couple of weeks off though for us, I remember. Yeah. It was only like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you guys were like...
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, all
But down there, it was fucked.
Oh, bro, we were like...
Yeah.
Crushed and then gone.
Yeah, we only had like... I reckon it was probably a month or something. Not even.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It would have been.
That's not too bad.
I don't even remember, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. Down there, how long was it?
Oh, longer than a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were playing until, I think, around 7.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then it hit.
Yeah,
again. So we were just like, bro, how come, like, Queensland's still going?
Yeah, and then... Yeah.
Come on, man.
You guys play up here. No.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Bro, imagine that. So, yeah, and then that happened, and... That's when I kind of like had to look at my like footy career, and I was like, okay, Tarks, like you did this, but do you actually see yourself like pushing to be like in the NRL or pushing to be
a cup player?
Or something like that. And like at the time, I got an offer to go to France.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, got an offer to go to France, and I also got another offer to go play rugby at the University of Utah.
Yeah. There was heaps going on, eh?
Yeah, bro. But like literally at the time, the reason why I didn't go to Utah was because that's when like the massive like Black Lives Matter happened. So I was just like, I'd rather be safe here. Like. Those guys were doing it tough, so I was like, okay, it's probably a bit too far to go. And then the reason why I didn't go to France was because like Italy had that massive like COVID hit, and I was just like, dude, if I get stuck in France, one, I can't speak French, two, like your boy's broke,
legit. It would have been fucking stuck over there.
Oh my goodness, that would have been crazy. Imagine me going over there. Anyway, so ended up not doing those two things, but like I said, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. Yeah, bro. So I was like, okay, let's reevaluate like my career, and let's see where we can go from here. Yeah. And then I was like chilling at the time, and that's when I moved to the beaches. Yeah. So I moved to the beaches, and I was like, okay, I think I'll give footy like one more crack. Yep. So I ended up signing with Ride. Yeah. Ride East Hawks, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So they were feeder to, I think, the Tigers. So it was pretty good nudge. Literally, everything happened so quick, bro. Because I literally went to like one training. One preseason training, and I was just like, dude, I don't like footy anymore. Right. Yeah, bro. Yeah. It was weird. Like I was so pumped up, COVID, blah blah blah, rocked up. After the first session, I was like, dude, I don't think I enjoy footy. Like, what the hell? Like what am I doing? And I didn't I didn't go to the next session on Thursday because I was like, okay, like, bro, this is something like,
it was like something significant that you felt.
It was
you
like
needed to think about.
It was like I had a good training session, but I was just like, dude, why am I not motivated to like do extras? Like, this is weird. And I didn't go to like the next training, and then I was talking to like a few of my close mates, and at the time that's when like Izzy was like dominating the UFC. And I was like, oh bro, like your average Joe knows what the UFC is now.
Yeah, literally.
I was like,
everyone watches it.
So I was like, maybe like a career change. Let's see what the go was with there. So I was like still hesitant. And then I was doing a bit of research, bro, in terms of like the martial arts. And I was like, okay, what's the hardest discipline to learn?
Right.
And everyone was like, oh, jiu-jitsu. If you want to learn martial arts, like get into jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
That's just going to take you yonks.
Yeah.
But it's going to be, it's going to be worth it. So then, boom, bombshell. I'm like, dude, what am I going to do? Like, am I going to...
Gonna pursue it or what?
Am I going to pursue it, or let's see, see what the go is. And for like a couple of weeks, like I didn't go to preseason training. My coach was like, dude, are you alive? Like,
what's going on?
But I lied to him, bro. I told him I had COVID.
Oh,
That's why I didn't go.
Yeah.
So I was just like, nah, I got COVID, blah, blah, blah. But at the time, I was just like, dude, okay, I just need to focus on work and just like wait for a sign,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just wait for a sign. Let's see what happens. And I remember going down to the beach rather, and I was just looking out, and I was just like, dude, like, man, like, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, I made it here, like, I'm in Sydney, I'm on the beaches, bloody gorgeous place to be in
and
Australia.
You've like, achieved so much with footy. And whatnot,
so I was like, okay, let's have a small prayer. I prayed rather, and then I was like, bro, I was always thinking to myself, like, at the end of the day, we're writing a book, and each single day is a page of your life book. And my whole thought process and at the time was, okay, if I was to give my book of life to someone, after I pass away, would they be like, oh, he did this, but he kept doing this? Or would they be like, oh shit, he did this? Oh shit, he did this. Oh my god, he jumped.
He did that.
He took a risk and did this. So I was like, bro, stuff that. Let's give jiu-jitsu a crack. What the hell? Rung my coach literally after that night after going to the beach, and I was like, bro, I think I'm gonna go jiu-jitsu. Knew nothing about jiu-jitsu.
It was such a big shock for me as well, as not just for yourself, but like for me as well. When I like saw, you kind of just went ghost mode for a little bit. Just kind of did what you wanted.
I wasn't active at all on social media. I was just like, okay, I think I need some time off just to like relax and think about it. Because it was a big decision at the time. Like, like I was dibble dazzle like in the league scene, and I was just like,
that would have been so nerve wracking, dude. Because I know in myself when I think I have my bad days playing footy, and I go, what am I going to do? Because I want to do something other than, like, if I'm going to quit footy, there's going to be something. I don't just want to work and just be an average fella.
100%.
So I always think about that, like, what am I going to do? And like,
exactly.
I know jiu-jitsu wouldn't come to my mind at all. And you probably
you
thought
it would. Bro, I'm telling you, a few months of training, dude, you'll surprise yourself.
And you probably didn't think yourself that you'd be like, fuck, maybe I saw this on TV and saw this guy fight.
Yeah, bro.
And then that's when I switched,
So it was like a massive decision to be like, okay, I actually want to give this a go. And then at the time, like, Khabib, was just dominating. And I was like, okay, what's his like martial art? Sambo. I'm like, Sambo. Like, went on Google, I'm like, Sambo places in Sydney, no Sambo schools. I was like, let's do jiu-jitsu. And I started off in Gracie Barra, bro. Which is like a pretty well-known gym like around like Australia. Started off in the gi. So when those who don't know jiu-jitsu, there's two types of practices. There's the gi, which is like you wear like the white robe, karate shit,
that type of shit.
And then it's the no gi, which is like, you just wear a rash guard. And it's like a training top, and you just, it's an easier transition to go into MMA. So at the time I started off in the gi, bro. And I was like, like fresh from like being like eating my ass off, Krispy Kreme every day. So
Yeah.
I was like, weighed myself when I first started, and I still got a photo. I'll send you the photo.
I've seen the photo.
I was like 121 kgs.
Fucking hell.
Started off like in the gi, jiu-jitsu, and I was just like, dude, man, like, look at this fat shit trying to like do
Make a
jiu-jitsu.
move. Yeah.
Make a move. So yeah, like obviously gained a lot of weight because of that decision. Looking back at it now, I wish like I could have like played it out a bit more, like probably like less stops to Macca's would have made the decision come a bit quicker.
Yeah.
But I feel as that was my process. Like my comfort was food.
Yeah.
Like, I love food.
Yeah. Well, absolutely.
Yeah. So I blew up, unfortunately, and bro, I started off doing jiu-jitsu, and at the time, like I said, I was just in the gi. And my real close mate now, and he was one of my main training partners, Sam Radova, a fellow I played in Blacktown with. Yeah, he was like, dude, come to Inner West grappling side in Glebe. So for those who don't know, Glebe is about like an hour-ish from Manly, from where I stay.
Yeah, okay.
Especially after work.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, dude, okay, let's just make the trek out there one time. So I made the trek out there, and dude, I was getting thrown around by blokes who were like 70 kgs.
Right, and you were 120.
I was 120, like ragdolled, bro. Like, think of it like, ragdolled. It looked like a dog versus like a little pussycat. Like, bro, it was like it was like some like Ben and Jerry stuff shit. Like, bro, it was ridiculous. Like, I was getting ragdolled, bro. Like, you would think like, coming from like a footy background, like,
being half strong. And
half strong and like a bit chunky. But dude, the guys there were literally just ragdolling me, and like shout out to Philly, he's my main training partner now, the Korean zombie. Yeah, bro, I remember like my first training session, I was like, oh, look at this guy, a little twig, like a little Asian twig, like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Yeah, right. Bro, I literally try to like shoot for a normal rugby takedown. Yeah. Boom, get caught in a guillotine, front headlock, choked out, and I was like, okay, now this is the sport I want to do. Yeah, and then I ended up rolling. The next roll was against JH, who's my head coach now. Yeah. And it was a background. So he started like choking me from behind, and I was like, dude. At the time, I was like, I don't know how to defend myself. Like, let's say if this was in a street situation. Yeah,
like, and you're out with the boys, or like even after you.
Bro, I don't know how to defend myself. And JH literally choked me out like 8 times in like a 5-minute round, and I was just like, dude. That was like a massive like light bulb. Yeah. This is where I want to.
Just what you fucking want to do.
This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like, right. So you just fell in love with it from then,
bro. Fell in love with it, man. And like, so that I started that in April this year. Yeah, I fully made the switch. And leading into it was like, have a footy background, but mostly have a touch background. So I was like, I feel as though a lot of those skills are transferable to like the sport. Yeah. The sport, yeah. And like in terms of like ethnicity wise, there's not many like Islanders in the practice of jiu-jitsu. Okay. Yeah. There's a few. There's this one guy from grappling industry. His name's Tito. Right. This Tito fella. Bro, he's gun, man. He's like a big unit. Like, you look at him, he can be a front row, like an in or out. Yeah, he's sick, man. Yeah. He has no idea who I am, but shout out to Tito. Nah, he's sick, bro. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of like, boom, there's not much of like an Islander presence in the sport. So I was like, boom, I think that could be my niche, right? To try and get into it. So yeah, started off like just training here and there, a few rounds here and there, and then fell in love.
That's crazy, eh?
Fell in love
from like being in love with footy. Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, even touched to rugby league, to playing a bit of union, whatever. Yeah, like that is just like I've never really seen anyone do that. Is go from playing footy, like pretty much that's their dream to play footy. Yeah, and then to go from becoming a grappler, like that's just something that I've never seen before. So
yeah, it's pretty
like such a big career change. Like it's something that you don't see very often. So yeah, it's very humbling to see that, like that people can do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm really blessed, and I'm really like fortunate that like God forbid, like he's put me in a pretty good plan thus far. But like I say, I like to keep my life a bit interesting.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you want a good book?
Yeah. Like I want a really good book by the time I pass away. And lucky that my parents, they finally gave me their blessing.
Yeah.
That was a tough decision.
Yeah.
Like tough call to tell them, Mom, I think I want to be I think I want to fight. And she was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What do you mean fight? You want to cuddle people? Like, you can just cuddle dad at home. Come back home and cuddle him.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, Mom, like it's different. Like I'm telling you, like this stuff, it's I see a future. Like it's a growing sport. Like don't worry. In a few years,
it is a growing sport.
Yeah, in a few years, like your average Joe is gonna be like, this guy. So, bro, that conversation with your parents, oh, I'm sure you've had like a few conversations, a deep one, and to like look them in the eyes and be like, Mom, I'm changing my career.
This is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. And at the time she was just like, okay. But Dad was confused. Dad had no idea what fighting was. He was just
had no idea.
Like Dad's like, like your average like hardworking man, doesn't say much. So he was just like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah,
just do what.
And Dad's a massive Union fan, so like it was massive for him to be like, what's grappling? What's jiu-jitsu? So I eventually got their blessing. Thanks, Mom and Dad. We made it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, here we are.
What was the hardest part of learning to grapple, transitioning from playing rugby league, as I was saying? Ooh. What was the hardest part, learning to grapple?
Yeah, bro, honestly, I think it's real underrated, the sport, in terms of the mental capacity you have to be.
Okay.
You have to be at, because let's say the same thing as like footy. It's a game of inches, and it's a game of, like a lot of things can happen in a split second. But I feel as though with grappling, you have to be real patient, like really patient, man. Yeah. Like I felt as though like brute strength and athleticism can only get you so far. Yeah. But if you're like, the one thing I struggled with at the time when I first started was being technical. Okay. Because let's say, I was 120 kgs at the time and I was dominating, like these 70 kgs, like whoop-de-doo. You want a gold medal? You want a gold star? Yeah. Like versing guys like my size will get dominated. Absolutely. Just because they were technically better than me. Yeah. So I felt as though understanding the techniques like that took a lot. Because like with footy, like you're used to staying on your feet and all this stuff, and now I'm like on my back, and absolutely. I'm just like, what's like I'm lying down, like how can I was like, what am I doing, like a squat? So absolutely. That was I think that's the toughest transition, like for me, was learning to be technically sound, like right down to the bone. Yeah, right. Like my finger placement, or my knee line, shit like that. Yeah, bro. Like that, I felt as though that's been the biggest. Yeah, just being that technical and being really like in tune with with technique. Bro. Yeah, 100%. What are your goals? It's a new sport to you, technically, but you've been doing it for a while now. Yeah. But what are your goals in the next, couple of years for you in grappling? Yeah, well, I like I said, I've set my goals pretty high, but I feel as though I've always set my goals pretty high, because you set your goals pretty high, you end up, you aim for the stars, you fail, you go in the clouds, it's all right. Yeah. So for me, my jiu-jitsu goals, and it's only become apparent recently, this year, unfortunately, fractured my hand, so out for the rest of the year. Shit go. Thanks, Mario. Thank you. Anyway, so my goals, bro, just quietly, I feel as though the next year is going to be a big year for me. And like my coach said, he just said reps, entering in as many competitions as I can. As you can, so the KPI for next year will definitely have to be one comp per month. Yeah, so 12 competitions in the year. Quick maths. So that's definitely the KPI for next year. The biggest goal. And next year, mid-year, we're thinking of going over to Thailand to do a training camp there. So that's going to be pretty interesting. A few of the boys are going over, so that's going to be... That'll be mad. Yeah, bro. A massive experience for me. That's going to be my first training camp, and, that type of experience, being around that environment. So really blessed. And then later on in the year, I'm looking to go to Melbourne to get on a fight card, which is
That'd be sick, dude.
breaking news.
Yeah.
Haven't really thought about that too much because we still got
You got
a long
other
time.
shit.
Yeah, still got a long time, but I think for me, like the next year is just gonna be, I felt as though like this year's just been like my debut year, get the blues out, understanding the sport a bit more and really understanding that okay, this is going to be a 10-year journey, as opposed to blokes can make the NRL in 2 years, one good season, so for me, I do understand it's going to be a long ass journey.
No, but it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, bro.
I would be excited for the journey.
Yeah.
As I'm excited for you.
Yeah,
Dude,
bro.
that's
So
crazy.
if I'll just continue to train hard, and I feel as though there's a lot of doors that are going to open up pretty soon. So I'm just praying and just, like I said, if God forbids and
absolutely,
following
dude.
God's plan, everything should be all right.
Because it's a combat sport now.
Yeah.
Would there be any other sports that is combat like that you would like to compete in ever in the future, like boxing, say?
Okay, so here's my thing with like boxing and stuff, like
Or like something just sumo wrestling, bruh.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that.
Bro, oh my gosh. Imagine me in Korea. Imagine like me, a black guy in Korea, like 200 kg sumo wrestling. Gang.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. No, but I think in terms of combat sport, and I've had this chat with my coaches, shout out to my coaches, John Henry, Paulie and Danny Lingping. Shout out to my coaches, and I've kind of told them I don't see myself transitioning into the MMA route.
Yep.
I feel as though I want to focus on the grappling, just
Focus
because
on that and just get
just
it down pat, eh?
get it down pat, and if if an opportunity pops up in the future, then I'll do that. But I really want to compete in wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Like I feel as though that's something that's like kind of on the side of my goal of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's got that bit of a light there that you kind of want to give it a go.
Yeah, and like obviously, wrestling is an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
So who knows in the future?
Yeah.
What year is it? 2022.
When's the next Olympics?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think for me, in terms of other combat sports, that will be the route I would go to.
Yeah.
Wrestling. But like I said, I need to jam pack, focus on my jiu-jitsu. Still a long bloody road, but it's a long road. But man, I'm enjoying every single single training, man.
Yeah,
like,
embrace it.
It's different. Like you rock up to footy training, and I felt as though like I can only speak from my experience, but I rock up to footy training, and there'll be days where I'll be like, oh man, can't be bothered running 1.2, can't be bothered testing this, testing exactly
that,
but for me, when I'm in jiu-jitsu training, I could be having like the shittest day, bro, at work,
and you can be like,
I can rock up
keen.
And I'm just like, dude, like I love this shit, man. Like,
that's good.
As bad as it sounds, man, I love getting choked out and shit.
Kinky.
I'm getting choked out, man. That's just like, oh, Dad, I need to get better.
Yeah.
So, no, I feel as though, bro, like in terms of my jiu-jitsu goals, that's going to be the main thing.
Yeah.
Having a good 2023. But like I said, clocking off the 2020 season undefeated, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oath. Congratulations, dude.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll see what the future holds, but who knows, bro? Wrestling,
hey.
And then sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, you heard it here first, Mitchie. Predicting my life.
Wrapping up the end of the pod, I like to ask some pretty fucking off the wall questions.
Hell yeah!
Like there's usually two or three. The first one I'll go with because I like to keep the best till last. What's in any country you'd want to live in? What one would it be?
Oh, okay. This is going to be like a wild shot, but it's funny. It's funny for me to say this, but I reckon if there's one country I would move to, would have to be Denmark.
Yeah, right.
Craziest, I know, like craziest thing. You were like, Denmark, what the hell? Like, but I did like a lot of research about the country. Like they got some like bloody good like scenery.
Yeah.
The people like honest.
Yeah.
Like no taxes. I'm pretty sure. Like you know all that stuff. Yeah, and like you can like leave your stuff there, and you know.
Yeah.
And like that's what I'm saying. Like imagine me like a black guy in Denmark. Damn.
Legit.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Gang gang.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah.
This is the worst one. It takes usually a really good answer to answer this question, because a lot of people will sit there and stew on it for like 2 minutes. I'm like, we got to wrap up the fucking podcast
Okay,
here.
watch me.
Nah.
Watch me. Hit me.
If your worst enemy wrote a book about you, what would be the title?
Oh. The title would be Karma. because sometimes I get too comfortable and I run my mouth. I got a big mouth.
Yeah.
And then karma hits.
Yeah.
Same thing, like, bro, with footy, ran my mouth, got injured.
Yeah.
Ran my mouth. It hasn't happened to me in grappling, so that's why I'm like being a bit mellow.
Yeah.
Don't want to jinx myself, but that's gonna be like the title, bro. Karma with a capital K.
Yeah, right.
Karma.
But your worst enemy though, like who do you think your worst enemy would be? And like someone that hates the shit out of you, and like I don't know who it is, but if they wanted to like name a book on you, what would be like the actual book's name?
Oh, see, like there's a lot of things, like even I hate myself. Like, bro, I look at me.
Yeah, we'll go with that. What's the worst thing you hate about yourself that you would like to change?
See that's a bit of a bombshell, because like I could hate myself for it, but like why would I want to change it when it's something that it's a part of me?
Yeah.
You know, like embrace your flaws.
Deep ass.
No one's sit down this podcast, huh? Embrace your flaws, baby. But honest, I reckon the one thing I hate about myself is that when I get too comfortable, then I run my mouth. And that's something like I feel as though it's throughout my career it's been like I said, karma. It's it's hit me hard, but then sometimes it's like just like, okay, like he's run his mouth but he backed it up, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of like a hit and miss.
Yeah.
But I feel as though that's probably one thing I hate about myself. Like I get too comfortable. That's what I'm saying. Like
too comfortable and it fucks you.
Yeah, like you know that saying, like be comfortable being in an uncomfortable position.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that one.
I love that one, bro. But I love it, but I need to listen to my own advice and get that embedded in my head, boy.
Hey, bro. Well, Tarks, it was so good to have you come up, especially from Sydney.
Yeah,
for the potty.
Cool trip.
Absolutely, you know, overwhelmed for you to come up and you know, drop a potty with me. So we've been talking about it for a long time. So yeah, it's been absolutely like a blessing for you to come up and that. And thanks to Tark's missus, she's been behind the scenes today.
Thank you.
Doing a little bit of videoing, all that shit will come out, which will be very exciting. But
holy grail, thank you. And also I'd like to make a shout out to my boss for giving me making me make my flight. Thanks, Ryan. Northset Tiling, thank you for giving me the day off.
How good, mate. It was so good to have you on the potty. I suppose we'll do another potty. Let's go with a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, let's do that.
Do a little bit of an update.
Progress.
And we'll see where you're at, and then. But
Sumo Wrestling 2023.
Other than that, it was really good to have you on today, bro. So really appreciate it. It was good to see you too. It's been a couple of years.
I know. It's been yonks. You Aussie boys grow too much. I need to get some of that.
Hey, bro. Cheers, bro.
That was good. See ya.